Good morning, everyone. Um, Episode 2 of The End, and the thought that came to me, I've been thinking this week over like what I want to talk about, and there's been a few different things, so maybe I'll touch on a few different things. But kind of the thing that came to me this morning was the the fact that in the artist industry there aren't actually any rules. There are no rules, no laws that you have to abide by as an artist. And looking at myself, a lot of the frustration that I have had in my journey as an artist these past years has been that I've kind of like adopted this idea that there's certain things that you have to do in order to find success. And it's just simply not true. There are certain things that can bring you success and that are often successful in bringing you success, but there's no law that says you have to do those things. And I think of artists like Mac DeMarco, who doesn't have social media, and yet he's still wildly successful as far as a musician goes. And it just reminds me that maybe I'm spending too much time under this kind of like weight of you have to do this or you have to do that, and you have to this, you have to have the struggle, and you have to hit the road, you have to tour 24/7, you have to do all these things. And maybe I'm so caught up in that I'm actually missing what my own journey should look like. And I just think that each of us have a unique set of gifts and abilities and things that we've been given, and to kind of like buy into this idea that everyone has to follow the same path in order to do those gifts that are similar is just strange. And but I kind of understand it. I think a good example is during the pandemic, a lot of people were making it pretty big on TikTok, and like if that worked for you or worked for someone then that's incredible. But what I see now is there's still a lot of artists out there trying to make it big on TikTok or by posting a bunch of times during the day, and they haven't realized that probably that moment that those people found success on that platform is kind of past. And I don't think that I don't think that you can't find success still on those platforms, but recognizing that moment where it was really beneficial was probably early or in the 2019-2020 era is, I think, helpful in realizing that maybe you don't need to be spending so much time trying to find success in that medium anymore. And there's a verse in the Bible that talks about laying aside every weight and running the race well. And whether you're a Christian or not, or believe, is kind of irrelevant, because the truth of that stands, and that is maybe you are focusing too much on something you thought you had to do in order to become successful. So maybe you think you need to post 3 or 4 times a day in order to find success. But what actually is happening that you haven't realized is that under that pressure to do that, you're spending all your time thinking about videos, thinking about what song can I cover, or what little clip can I do, when do I post it, and you're looking at analytics and all this stuff, and you're maybe, for example, you're forgetting that what you actually need to build right now is your skills as a performing artist, or as a songwriter, or whatever else, or as a painter. You're in this mindset of, what do I create for the algorithm? What do I create for social media? I'm picking on social media, but I think it stands across the board with different things. Even in the age we're in with labels, I think labels personally are becoming more irrelevant as the shift kind of goes towards the independent artist and someone just putting themselves out there and being able to manage themselves. But it can mean anything. But kind of the concept I just want to leave you with is just identify the things that you've adopted as being non-negotiables when it comes to music. One thing that for me that has been is thinking that in order to find success, I have to get to the point where the band can like tour to make income all the time, essentially. And taking stock of my life recently, that's not actually the life I want, and I don't think it's also the only way to be able to do music that's out there. And I think that it's been helpful in the last while for me to deconstruct some of those laws in my mind that I had to do or had to get to in order to find success, because I was spending a lot of time and effort trying to get to those points, and I think I was missing, because my schedule was so full or my brain capacity was so full of trying to do this thing, I didn't have time to actually look for more efficient ways or just more unique ways of being able to do what I desire to do and to meet the goals I want to meet, because I was just caught up with this concept of you have to do this, you have to get a label, you have to tour, you have to always be on social media constantly posting, you have to do all these things. And dude, I don't buy it, and I don't think these things are not valuable, but just be careful that it's not everything you're putting your time into, or if it's something that is drawing you away from what you've actually been called to or what actually you're gifting. And yeah, again, I don't want to ramble too much, but the fact is just I don't believe that everything we buy into is beneficial to our end result. And so maybe take some time, I'm doing this in my life right now, just to take stock of the things that you thought are non-negotiables, that you think I can't do this unless I, insert blank. So that's my thought for the day. Not much to update with the band. Trying to get a band meeting together again still, but life's busy, man, but that's good. And we'll see you next week.